Hello, third grade writers. Today we're going to continue with lesson 11, and the story we're going to be writing about is Paul Bunyan. The vocabulary for this lesson, hitched. So if something's hitched, that means that it's fastened, harnessed, tethered, coupled, or hooked. For example, this seatbelt is fastened, it's hitched. The second vocabulary word is stubborn. If you're stubborn, you're very determined and you don't give up until you get your way. Let's look at our objectives for today's lesson. Our writing objective is, I will be able to discuss and identify the purpose of a concluding section in opinion writing. And for our conventions, our lesson objective is, I will be able to use comparative and superlative adjectives. In opinion writing, we provide a concluding section. So an opinion essay needs a structure or building blocks that will make sense to the reader. The concluding section is the final part of that structure. This is how the conclusion fits into an opinion essay. So first, writers begin their essay by stating an opinion. They next give reasons for their opinion and connect their reasons to their opinion with linking words and phrases. The essay ends with a concluding section or statement. A one-paragraph opinion piece can conclude with one sentence. Most longer opinion pieces need a one-paragraph conclusion. The conclusion is the last thing the reader reads, so it's important to make it memorable so that it sticks in readers' minds. A conclusion should not introduce anything new. Instead, it should restate the main idea, the writer's opinion, in a new way. One way to conclude an opinion essay is to think of the big idea. Ask yourself, what is my essay mainly about, and how can I leave my readers believing that my opinion is correct? So let's look at this opinion essay about school uniforms. Some of my friends don't like wearing uniforms to school, but I think wearing uniforms helps students get along better. If students could wear anything to school, richer kids would probably wear stylish, expensive clothes. This would make other students feel envious. It might even start fights. I don't want to go to a school where some students wear fancy clothes and others feel envious and angry. That's why I'm glad we wear uniforms here at King Elementary School. So if we look back at this first paragraph, the writer states her opinion about wearing uniforms to school. It is a good thing, not a bad thing. The second body paragraph, the writer gives some good reasons why wearing uniforms helps students get along better, or why not wearing uniforms causes them to get along worse. And finally, the writer concludes or finishes her essay by restating her main idea in a new way. The conclusion is memorable because it sounds as if the writer really believes in this opinion. So write a concluding section. You will write a concluding section for the opinion essay you wrote in Lesson 8. A concluding section restates the main ideas of an opinion essay in a few sentences. So if you wanted to at home, you can make this T-chart on a blank piece of paper. So I'm going to model what you might put in there, okay? So over here it says my opinion, and then over here is reasons for my opinion. So in my essay, I wrote that cats make better pets than dogs. I'll write that in the first column under my opinion. Under reasons for my opinion, I'll write the reasons why I think my opinion makes sense. Cats are better to cuddle with here, okay? Cats don't require as much care as dogs, and cats are better for an apartment. So to model how to use the beginning sections of an opinion to write its conclusion, I need to restate my opinion in a slightly new way that readers will remember. I also want my readers to agree with me. How about this? Dog owners may disagree with me, but I know I am right. If you live in an apartment with no yard and you can't stay home all day to keep your pet company, get a cat. Plus, most cats have silkier fur than dogs. Cuddling cats just feels better than cuddling dogs does. What more can I say? So in your online writing journal in Google Docs, under Lesson 11, you're going to type in a concluding section. So you're going to expand, that means add on to your concluding statement from Lesson 10 into a concluding section for your opinion piece. First, review your work, so you have to go back and read what you typed in Lesson 10, then write a conclusion of at least 3 sentences that restates the main ideas of your essay. So your opinion and reasons. Now, usually one way that we start a conclusion, I'll give you a sentence starter, say in conclusion, okay, and then you would list your reasons. Moving on to the conventions lesson, use comparative and superlative adjectives. So comparative and superlative adjectives are used to compare nouns. Like other adjectives, they may describe, let me fix that, excuse me. how people and things look, sound, smell, feel, or act. Sometimes comparative and superlative adjectives are irregular. So, for example, good, better, and best would be an irregular example. Let's look at our first box here. Paul is a bigger man than his father is. Even when Paul was a baby, he was probably heavier than his dad was. Bigger and heavier are comparative adjectives. To add an ER ending to big, you must first double the G. To add this ending to heavy, you must first change the Y to an I. In this tale, Babe is the biggest ox in the world. In real life, the blue whale is the most gigantic creature on earth. Biggest and most gigantic are superlative adjectives. There's no such word as gigantic plus EST, so speakers and writers must use most gigantic. Finally, I like this tale. It is not a bad story. I have heard worse lies than the ones a storyteller tells. These lies are not the worst ones that anyone has ever told. The adjective and its comparative and superlative forms used here, bad, worse, and worst, are irregular adjectives. Okay, so in the conventions part for lesson 11, you're going to use comparative and superlative adjectives. So you have to write a sentence about Paul Bunyan with each adjective. Okay, so your first word is younger, most powerful, and best. So you have to come up with 3 sentences about Paul Bunyan using these adjectives. I am here if you have questions. Please leave me a comment or you may email me. Thank you.